What's up, guys? And I'm sorry for not uploading the past 2 days. I've had some personal things going on, and I've been really busy with my life. Except today we're going to be doing another episode of our NBA news and analytic commentary. And we're going to catch you guys up with everything that I've missed on the past 2 days and the Phoenix Suns versus Los Angeles Clippers Game 2, which was last night, as well as the draft lottery. And the first thing we're going to talk about is Game 7 of the Atlanta Hawks versus the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Hawks were able to win Game 7. They won Game 4 and 5 by the 76ers blowing an 18-point lead and then a 26-point lead, and the 76ers lost Game 7 at home, and Ben Simmons passed up on a wide-open dunk just so he could pass it to Tyrese Maxey, who did get fouled and made one of the free throws, except Joel Embiid called that the turning point of the game. Now, I think that Ben Simmons, to a certain extent, is a good basketball player when it comes to defense. He is a great player. When it comes to passing, he's a great player. But not shooting, he has no confidence. From the free throw line, he wasn't even above 33%, which is the worst all time. He only shot the ball 3 times in the fourth quarter in every single game and didn't shoot it at all in Game 5, 6, and 7. Now, I believe Joel Embiid is the key piece to this team, except I would personally trade Ben Simmons. I don't know what the market for him would look like, but I would trade him, and I would try to get an all-star caliber player, or even just a starter who's going to play 30 minutes a game that is a true shooter, not a Seth Curry coming off the bench or barely starting, or anyone else like that. They need to be a real player, a real talent who can shoot the ball and open up the post for Embiid. And whenever he sits, someone like Seth Curry can come in, and I believe that would be a better fit for this 76ers organization. Now, the process, I believe, has failed them so far, but we'll see what they could do next year with Ben Simmons most likely not in town. Now, we're going to talk about the game that you see on your screen right now, Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals between the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, the Phoenix Suns were able to win this game off of a DeAndre Ayton dunk with 0.7 seconds to play. They won this game 104 to 103, and Paul George, after it looked like he was going to get his playoff P or pandemic P or all the memes about him, especially on Twitter, it looked like he had that behind him with his performance against the Utah Jazz. Except tonight, whenever they were up by 103 to 102, he missed both free throws. If he would have made one of them, then that Ayton dunk would have tied the game, and they could have either gone for the dunk to go to overtime or try a 3, which they most likely would have missed. If he made both of them, then they most likely would have lobbed up a 3 to Devin Booker, in which case he would have missed, in my opinion, because he would have been double covered. But I believe that although that was very unclutch of Paul George, I don't think he's an unclutch player in general. I just think that moment was not very clutch, except when it comes to him overall, I feel like he shows up more often than not. And whenever this Clippers team loses, all the blame seems to be placed on him. And those shots did have a huge role as to why they lost, but all they had to do was score one more bucket in this game, most likely would have gone differently. And that is not entirely Paul George's fault. Tyronn Lue and the Clippers are once again down 2-0 for the third series in a row, except this time it's without Kawhi Leonard going back to Staples Center in Los Angeles for Games 3 and 4. Now, I believe that the Clippers can still be a competitive team in this series, but I don't think they're going to win this series down 0-2 again. Something about this Phoenix Suns team, they have all the momentum, they have all the confidence in the world right now, and they're eventually, I don't know when, but they're eventually going to get Chris Paul back, who is out indefinitely due to the COVID health and safety protocols. He's quarantining with his family, and he actually posted on his Twitter him enjoying some time with his daughters, which was just really heartwarming to me. And I believe that when he comes back, this Suns team will just get even better. I don't believe Kawhi Leonard will be back in Games 3 or 4. I honestly don't think he'll be back this series, and if he does, it'll just be like Kevin Durant suddenly coming back against the Toronto Raptors in the 2019 NBA Finals. It'll just be a desperate move, and it won't make any sense, and you would just tell it so they could try to win the game. They don't care about the player's health, which I think would be a bad decision because LeBron James is getting older in the Western Conference. He's not getting any younger. Anthony Davis is most likely going to keep getting injured. The Utah Jazz are a regular season team, for now at least. Maybe as the years go on, they'll probably turn into more of a playoff team. But the Clippers are in great position in the Western Conference because the Phoenix Suns, I believe, will make the NBA Finals, and they have a great chance of winning it. I'm rooting for them, but I don't put any bias towards them in my predictions in my videos. I still say this series will go to 5 or 6 games. I don't think it's going to be Suns in 4. If it is, it would be hilarious for the sake of the meme. But I don't see this Clippers team, even without Kawhi Leonard, going down with not even a single game to show for it. I feel like they can steal a game or two, especially going back to Staples Center. I believe they'll win at least one of those games. But if the Suns go up 3-0, even if the Clippers win one of those games, they'd be down 3-1. And it would be going back to a Game 5 in Phoenix. Then you'd have a Game 6 in Staples Center. And worst case scenario, which I highly doubt will happen, is a Game 7 in Phoenix. And I just don't see them with all the momentum that they have. And at that point, Chris Paul, if they play a Game 6 and 7, would definitely be back. I do not think he would still be out for the health and safety protocols. So overall, I see the Phoenix Suns going to the NBA Finals. I love their team right now. I love the confidence. It might be one of the best playoff runs I have seen in my life, especially in the game of basketball. I believe it's more impressive than the Miami Heat, and not just because it's the bubble, but just how fun this team is to watch and how they work together. That's something that I did see with the Heat, except I feel like I just have more enthusiasm against this Phoenix Suns team. Like, I want to see them succeed. There were so many replay reviews this game as well, and especially in the fourth quarter. I believe there was 8 reviews in the fourth quarter, which I understand the officials just want to make sure the calls are right, but some of them are really simple calls, and they would still miss them. And it's just simply because Devin Booker with a huge shot right here, by the way. But it's just, the reviews went on for way too long for most of the plays. Some of them I can understand, they were like 50-50, but that's just not optimal. And he misses it, and it goes out of bounds, except it's Suns ball, and this is the play that I was talking about. 0.8 seconds remaining. He's going to inbound the ball, and most game-winning shots are long-range shots, but DeAndre Ayton slams it down, and this game is over. The Suns win Game 2, 104-103. And as we look at the draft lottery, the top 5 is as follows. We have the first overall pick going to Detroit Pistons, which will most likely go to Cade Cunningham, then the Houston Rockets, then the Cleveland Cavaliers, and other than that, you have the Orlando Magic at 5 whenever they were tied with the Pistons and the Rockets for the odds to get the number 1 pick. And number 4 pick is the Toronto Raptors. A great surprise, except thank you guys so much for watching. I'm your boy Meatloaf, and you'll see me in the next upload.